about the question of should we have music in church. Seems strange, but they were debating it. And might that be worldly? Might that be too entertainment driven? So Augustine says, I have sometimes gone so far as to wish to banish all melodies and sweet chants commonly used for David's Psalter from my ears and from the church as well. But I think a safer course, one which I remember being often told of Bishop Athanasius of Alexandria. He used to make the reader of the psalm chant with so flexible a speech rhythm that he was nearer to reciting than to singing. Nevertheless, when I remember the tears which I poured out at the time when I was first recovering my faith, and that now I am moved not by the chant, but by the words being sung, when they are sung with a clear voice and entirely appropriate modulation, then again I recognize the great utility of music and worship. Thus I fluctuate between the danger of the pleasure and the experience of the beneficent effect, and I am more led to put forward the opinion, not as an irrevocable view, that the custom of singing in church is to be approved, so that through the delights of the ear, the weaker mind may rise up towards the devotion of worship. Yet when it happens to me that the music moves me more than the subject of the song, I confess myself to commit a sin deserving of punishment, and then I would prefer not to have heard the singer. Fascinating that the same sorts of things we wrestle with, they wrestled with millennia and a half ago, and likely did so with more deliberate thoughtfulness. You can hear what Augustine's wrestling with. The music, it seems like it sometimes moves us in a way that is carnal or fleshly. It would be good for churches and worship leaders and just listening to Christian music to consider that. It's not something we consider as much as we should, that it's possible that we're really a certain chord modulation makes you feel a certain thing, and you confuse yourself that you're having a spiritual experience. You're having a musical experience, and you don't need the Spirit of God to have that musical experience. What happens when you listen to music swelling in a certain way? And of course, the music in Augustine's time was far more simpler. You hear him talking about a reader and psalms and chants. So he's of one opinion that says, there's a danger here. Maybe we should just have the reader just barely do a little flexibility in chanting the psalms. But then he comes around to say, but I remember with tears, and I remember how much God ministered to me, the great utility of music in worship. And all of us who are Christians, I hope understand that to be true, that music is one of God's great gifts. So he says, let's not be drawn away by the music apart from the words. Augustine goes so far as to say that's a sin. But the music supporting the content, supporting the truth, can be a great gift and utility in worship.